Hello, I'm Laura,
I'm Nicole,
and today we're here to show you how to use Twitter.
and actually to show me as well.
And we're hoping that if we show you how to use Twitter, that you'll then come on Twitter and communicate with Sylvia and Nicole. And you'll also learn more about Twitter and how to use it and why it could be a fun thing to do.
Right, rather than a thing that you feel is somewhat repugnant or so foreign, so otherworldly that you didn't want to even get into it. And let me tell you, I understand that perfectly, but we're going to try it now.
And Nicole, why do you think people dislike Twitter so much?
I think they think it's a waste of time, and they would rather waste their time in some other way. Maybe they'd rather waste their time shopping, or they'd rather waste their time cleaning their house, or learning to knit, or learning to embroider, or learning to drive, whatever. Twitter seems to them exotic, child for children. But personally, I think it's wonderful to communicate with someone in a short way, keep in touch with them. It puts you on your mettle to think of a way to communicate in 140 characters that's clever.
Yeah, because didn't you just tell me that you should be an editor because you see all these words I don't need to put in things?
Right. People use too many words.
Too many words.
Yes, I'm going to start a program to make our sentences in our communication briefer.
Okay, and we'll talk about that on
Let's
Twitter.
go.
Yeah, we'll talk about that on Twitter. So let's get you on Twitter.
Okay.
So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to type twitter.com into your web browser.
Okay, would you like to tell people just what a web browser is?
Okay, so a web browser is basically your interface for how you get on the internet. So if you are on a Macintosh computer, that would be Safari, which looks
Right.
like this little icon here.
Yes.
If you are on a PC, it's going to be Internet Explorer, which I think everyone is mostly familiar with.
Yeah.
And then it's also going to be Mozilla Firefox for those people that are radicals or outliers that don't want to use Microsoft software.
Oh, really?
So,
It's much cooler to use Firefox?
it is. And you can use it on a Mac too. But I'm a big fan of Safari because it has these read this list. It has it's called Read Later, and so you can bookmark any website you want. But that'll be for a future tech tutorial with us because we'll get distracted.
Fascinating. Yeah.
Yes. So let's stick with Twitter. So twitter.com is just TWITTER, and it has a little bird that kind of helps you know where you are. What you're going to do is, if you're new and do not have a Twitter account, you will have to type in your full name. We're going to type in Sylvia. And you said her last name is Lake, which
Yes.
I did not know Sylvia had a last name.
Yes, she's actually named after Veronica Lake.
That's amazing.
Who was a very charismatic, beautiful star in the 40s and starred in many movies with Alan Ladd.
And so Sylvia is a huge fan of
Oh,
Veronica
yes,
Lake.
I was a big fan of both of them, actually. Yes.
That's fantastic. Well, great. I had no idea she had a last name. So you're also going to type in your email, and we'll just make one up for Sylvia because we'll pretend that we're signing in again, and we're going to say badgirlchats.com, which is your website. And then we'll say, for a password, what should we say?
Well, I was thinking of lemonade because I'm sitting here in Florida and it's nice and warm, and I was thinking if I was a child, I would make a lemonade stand. So lemonade would be my password. And I think a food password is probably, pretty good.
Because it's rememberable.
Yeah.
But I do want to say that if you do choose a food, which I actually think that's a good idea because it's something you're likely to remember, a favorite food, but you should also add a couple letters and an exclamation point or some kind of symbol afterwards because that really increases the strength of your password.
Okay.
Because if everyone's using Lemonade, like you said, we could go on everyone else's Twitter accounts, and we don't want that. Okay, so then you would click sign up for Twitter, and then what that would do is take you, you would give me email to your email address that you entered, and it will tell you to click on the link in the email, and that will actually finish the signing up process for you.
Can we see an example of that? Or
do you want me to do that? I think I'm out of emails. I think all of my emails have a Twitter account attached.
Okay, so I think we can remember that. You will get an email from Twitter. It will tell you to to click on that link. I think we can all do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
fine.
And
if anyone has any questions, they can actually contact us, and I'll tell them what's going
on.
So we already set up a Twitter for you, a new one, because we had a Bad Girl Chats one, but we were worried because it sounded kind of
pornographic. Yes.
It did. And so we had a hard time getting followers to take that account seriously.
Yeah, and I really meant it in the sense that we are bad girls when we act against the stereotypes of women, when we stand up for other women, when we're fascinated by politics, when we want to exchange ideas. And so that's why I called it Bad Girls.
But that deeper meaning is totally lost on Twitter.
Yeah. On the other hand, Bad Girls giving a suggestion, a double entendre, it's not so bad. But I want people to know what the first meaning is.
Mm-hmm. So we actually are going to stop doing the Bad Girl Chats Twitter and now do one under your name.
Yes.
Okay.
That's why we did it.
That's why we did it. So we're going to sign in with our email address and our password, and it's going to take us to the new Nicole Hollander and Sylvia Twitter page.
Mm-hmm.
And as you can see, we actually made a nice little design background here with a photograph of Nicole and a drawing of Sylvia. And we also, if you sign in for the first time, it's going to take you to what they call your home page, which is this little button up here.
Mm-hmm.
So you see all the buttons across the top row. We'll start at home and we'll work our way across so people understand the actual interface of a Twitter page. So up here we have Nicole Hollander, which is your name.
Mm-hmm.
So if for some reason you want your name for your Twitter identity, and let's say it's taken, like how if you sign up for Gmail, and let's say you want it to be NicoleHollander@gmail.com, but it's already taken.
Yeah.
So you end up being NicoleHollander90210.com at
I hate that.
Yeah, I know. So it'll actually let you keep you can put your real full name up above, but your Twitter handle might be some odd combination.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So for you, we ended up making your Twitter handle nhollandersyl, SYL, because there is a Nicole Hollander.
I can accept. There is?
Yeah, someone has it, and they're a model, and they're friends with Terry Richardson, who is a famous photographer. So I couldn't. There's no way I can get it.
Yeah,
I was gonna wrestle her. I was really gonna. I was gonna wrestle her. And beware, because people create free Twitter handles for all kinds of famous people, hoping that they will get bought out, or that someone will offer to pay for their name handle.
Okay, I think that we actually don't have to worry about
No,
that.
you don't. No, you don't. But if someone wants to make some extra income,
yeah, not yet.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so Nicole Hollander, it shows that you have 11 tweets. We're following 33 people, and you have 13 followers. Right. Follow as many people as you want. You can follow the New York Times. You can follow Comics Alliance, which we're following. We decided to follow the Genius Bar Tales, which is a group of people on Twitter that are telling experiences about the Genius Bar at the Apple Store. Because
I just had an experience at the Apple Store in Wellington, Florida. I live in Chicago, so mainly I have experience with not the Genius Bar, but the one-on-one lessons at the Apple. This has been a totally different experience. Read about it in the blog. Yeah,
and we're going to send it out through Twitter. So another reason you should sign up on Twitter.
We're sending it out. Okay.
Because it'll help you. Twitter is almost like an RSS feed where all the things that you want to know about your favorite entities, like the New York Times Magazine, Genius Bar Tales, or Bad Girl Chats, it will all go to your Twitter feed. So you will see that come up, that blog post, which is actually really funny. Twitter also suggests people for you to follow based on your interests and the other people that you follow. It'll also show you worldwide trends, which is very interesting.
What is this thing, the Louis Vuitton condom?
Oh, should we click on this?
Yeah,
so
let's
this
click
is a trend.
On that. Yeah.
So if we click on this trend, it means there are a lot of people on Twitter writing about this Louis Vuitton condom. So it's apparently 68 pounds, according to this one. I'm pretty sure you can afford a baby if you can afford this condom. It's actually a really good commentary.
Now, in fact, is there no image of this, which I am really...
Do we want to click on this link?
Yes, let's try that.
Lost my V. Okay, so we apologize if there's something graphic. We'll blur it out.
Yeah, we will.
No, this is someone talking about their sex life. So
No, forget that.
Yeah, we can't find it, but you know what? When we find it, we'll tweet it out. We'll look for that.
Yeah, we will.
But like, oh my God, George Lucas, someone else is writing about that. Or, oh my God, Lucas, someone else is writing about England manager.
Mm-hmm.
So if you click on any of these, it's kind of interesting to see what is of popular on Twitter.
These really are trends that are popular on Twitter. This isn't just a list that's made up for me.
No.
It's just for everybody, in case you want to know what's going on.
Worldwide trends, yeah.
Let's move on because we digress.
Yeah, so if you get... if you click on something and get far away from your home, you can click back on the home key and you get back here.
Okay.
These are all the tweets that are coming into your feed. So everyone that you follow, all 33 people that you're following, you're going to see all the tweets that they send out through this feed. Mm-hmm. That means you're going to get hundreds of tweets a day. 100 tweets probably a minute. So you can keep going through them when you're bored, if you're waiting for the restroom in a really long line, if you're waiting for a waiter. It's kind of an easy way and a great way that I like.
If you're waiting to get in to have a mammogram.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Definitely.
Or waiting at the Genius Bar, like your
Yeah,
blog
right.
post,
Oh, God,
which
yes.
yes, it's a great post. Okay, so so then you're gonna see all the tweets here. If you click on Connect, what you're going to see is all the people interacting with you on Twitter. And the whole point of Twitter is for you to have a conversation and connect with other people. And what's great about Twitter and why so many people like to connect on it is that you're limited to 140 characters. Whether you write someone a direct message, which is a hidden message between you and someone else, or whether it's a public message you send out, which would be a reply or a retweet to someone. So those are all public. So we decided that you wanted to follow Sarah Beacon, who is a Chicago cartoonist.
Right.
Who you like her work.
I do. Very much.
And you saw on her Twitter feed this morning that she was going to be speaking at Chicago Comics on March 3rd.
Which is great because then I knew she was going to be there.
Yes,
and I wanted to be there.
So we wrote her. We replied to her comment and said that we would actually that Nicole, when you are back in Chicago, if you will be back in Chicago if you can tear yourself away from tropical plants and screaming cats.
And I will be there.
Okay. And then Sarah saw that Nicole had replied to her because she saw this here, which is called a mention. But really what it is your Twitter handle. Mm-hmm. And I guess the verb of that is a mention. So if someone types in your Twitter handle, which is your Twitter identity, in front of their message and a reply or a retweet, then you will know that someone is trying to communicate with you.
You know what? I think this is the other thing that this is good for is that there are so many things that are going on in Chicago, and I often really don't know about them. I'm interested in theater and movies and music, and what's playing at Gene Siskel. And so I think Twitter is a great way to make your friends aware that something is happening and that you will be there, and maybe you could all go together, that kind of thing. So it's this kind of very quick way to keep in touch with each other. And then also, since everyone I know digresses, this 140 characters really superb.
Yes, it is. So it's great because Nicole it was easy for her to tell Sarah, I'd like to go to your show. And it was easy for Sarah to reply quickly, that would be awesome, Nicole. I'd love to see you there. Yeah. And then we can hide the conversation or we can open it and see what is going on. Other people can see your public conversation, which is great because then maybe other people will go see Sarah while she's speaking in Chicago if they know that you're going to be there as well. There's also something called mentions. And this is just if people mention you. So what I did is after we set up your Twitter account, I sent you a message from mine. So I did @Hollander, SYL, which is your Twitter handle, and then I wrote you a message. So that shows up in your mentions. Oh, that also shows up if we go back to your home. Actually, not your home. If we go and click on this little people icon and go to your profile page, this is where we can see all of the tweets that you have sent out and anything else that people have written to you or replied to you. And unfortunately, you used to be able to see when people just mentioned you, even if you weren't replying to them. But nowadays, they've moved that into a different page, which is now this Connect page up here. So if we go to your actual Nicole Hollander page, we're going to see all the tweets that you have sent out today. Okay. And we're going to see your conversation that you retweeted Sarah Beacon's March 3rd event, and then also your conversation with her here.
All right, now, what is this Connect again? Okay. So then you see things that people have written to you?
Yeah, so let's say you don't want to reply to everyone because let's say you start getting a lot of people commenting to you, or let's say a lot of people are retweeting something you wrote. You can't reply to all of them.
Or maybe I'm really, really busy that day.
Yeah, or you're really busy. So what you can do is if you go to Connect, you can see the people that you've interacted with that day, which is great. So you remember your conversations with them. Or you can see the mentions. So let's say you saw that I replied in something to you. You can hit reply and say, oh, here, let me do that again so it's slower. So let's say you go to mentions and you're like, oh, Laura mentioned me today, and reply to something I wrote. So if we open up the conversation, we can see that you were saying, help Sil and I finish our thought, which is one of the main reasons we started this Twitter page for you as well, was that we wanted to interact with people so that they could help you and Sylvia kind of finish your thoughts and have fun.
And also that I feel that at this time in my life, I have very ambivalent feelings about my computer, and I feel that perhaps I unconsciously needed to act out against my computer, and I want some support, because if you do something like that, that causes you, in fact, a lot of trouble. That is, you have to pay the price for it. You'd like to know that other people are considering the same action. So thank you.
So, and I did, and I said, I helped you finish your thought by clicking reply to this message, which said, my feelings about my computer vacillate between rage and I put the hope for a better tomorrow.
That was very gracious of you, but
it's probably not the right term
no,
at all.
It's not edgy enough for sure.
I think it should have been a hammer fight.
Or
something.
Yeah, right.
Swimming with sharks, something like that. So, so if Nicole wants to reply to me, if she likes my comment, you could hit reply and then go ahead and type something to me.
Okay.
And what you see is a reply window. So it's a reply window, and you're going to keep my Twitter handle, which is @lzinger, and then you're going to type in your message. You can just say it was wimpy if you want to.
I will.
Okay. And then you're going to click this tweet button.
Did it.
Great. Let's see if it shows up here on your profile page that you replied to me. Yes. So your reply to me shows up publicly. Mm-hmm. So if you ever want to write something privately to someone, do not do it here.
This is interesting.
So for anyone that wants to communicate with you or get in the conversation with you, we ask that they sign up for Twitter. Mm-hmm. They go to your page. And then what they're going to do is they'll want to click and follow you. Mm-hmm. So here where it says edit your profile, it should say a follow page. Mm-hmm. They'll follow you, and then what they can do then is start writing you. Mm-hmm. So they could go to their little compose new tweet blue box up here, and then they would say @n. And then once you're following someone, it should make it easier for you just to find their name once you start typing it in.
because you just type it,
And they could say something like, what's happening, Nicole? I mean, and you can just all write test tweets like this if you want to get used to it. We don't mind at all. And Nicole will respond to you as much as possible.
All right, let me ask you this. So you are going to see this page when you respond, the page where I'm on one side and Scylla's on the other?
They'll come to your page, and they can either choose to reply or retweet any of your comments on your page.
Okay.
Or if they're on their homepage, they'll hit this blue button, and I think this blue button will show up no matter what page you're on. Because let's say we're on my Twitter feed. Mm-hmm. You can see my Twitter feed here, and then you can still compose a tweet.
Okay.
And then you
just
tweet.
Put whoever's name even though you're on Laura's page, you can put in whatever name you want.
Yeah,
and you will go to that page.
Mm-hmm. So we could even put in, I think it's Comic Beat. We could put in we could write the Cartoon Art Museum and just say, happy we're following you. Mm-hmm. And then we could hit tweet. Mm-hmm. And then if we go back to your home, the home is actually going to be, here it shows up here is the home. I think it's on just a little bit of a delay here. Because it shows up
it's there, yeah. Mm-hmm.
That one we sent 30 seconds ago is there. And then here's this one, Cartoon Art, happy we're following you. Mm-hmm. So you're going to see your own tweets mixed in with all the other tweets from people that you follow. And then if you just want to see your own tweets, you just click on this little face icon and select your profile page.
Oh. Good.
And then here you are. And then you can just see that that's what you wrote to them. And then we'll see if they reply.
Okay.
And then the last thing is called a direct message. Mm-hmm. And this is how you send private messages to people.
Oh, good.
So if you drop down and hit direct message, we already wrote to your friend Sarah Paretsky, who was one of the first people to follow you.
Yeah, and she asked
someone else
whether there was a prize for having been my first follower.
Yes.
And so I wrote her back and I said, as many bad girl t-shirts as you can wear at once. I'll send the cat over with them.
Yes. So that's an example of a private conversation. So just be careful when you're using Twitter that you're not putting things on the public atmosphere that you don't want out there.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
I think it's great.
You think you can do it simple?
Yeah, I think it's pretty simple. If this is it, I mean, if we are ready to go, then this is terrific. Mm-hmm. Okay.
And we would love it if people would come and reply to one of these. Help Syl and I finish our thoughts. Nicole, which is Nicole over here saying,
I'm addicted to ...
And
then Sylvia says, she could say anything, but she says mysteries about ... So you have two choices of finishing our sentences, either mine or Sylvia's.
And if we hit reply, what kinds of things could people say?
I'm addicted to thinking about exotic vacations and never going on one.
Oh, you're addicted. Oh, you want to just do the I'm addicted to
Yeah.
thinking about? Okay. Vacations and never going. Okay. And then if we hit tweet, so that's all you have to do at home, and then we'll get it. Oh, yeah, and so Twitter is over capacity, so sometimes Twitter will show you this because it freaks out because everyone's looking at the Louis Vuitton condoms, I'm sure.
Yeah,
And
right.
having conversations about that. So, without further ado.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see you on Twitter.